Hello and welcome to my channel. This week, it all goes wrong. Hi and welcome back. This is not the video I had planned for you this week. This week I had planned a fabulous video showing the Advent reveal for my 2024 custom Advent that I dyed for a customer. I had all the photos taken. I'd recorded a Teams or Google Meet with my friend Lee where she guessed the colourways of the Advent and I revealed the answers, and it was quite a giggle, and I was going to invite you to join in as well. Unfortunately, when I went to edit the video just now, the screen recorder app that I used, despite being set to recording the sound, didn't actually record the sound. Or if it did, it's disappeared somewhere into the ether. So that's all gone wrong. And so there's that. And then I was lying there thinking, as I went lay on my bed in a huff, and I was like, I don't know what else to do. I haven't got another video planned. And Lee was like, well, have you got anything else in the back catalogue? Any pre-recorded stuff? I was like, no, I don't. You were the back catalogue, love. So it's all gone wrong, and it's very hot down here. It hit 36 degrees while I was driving on the motorway on Friday. It's just too hot for this nonsense. So that's gone wrong. Can't find the audio file there. I haven't got the brain space to do anything else. I did think about, what else could I do for Christmas in July, because that's the focuses of my videos at the moment. And I've got no idea, because I did think about, winter knitting plans. It'd be nice to dream of the cooler weather, because I'm not made for this. I'm British. I'm not made for this sort of heat. You can see the glow. There's definite glow going on, isn't there? I'm not sure whether it's attractive or not, but we'll find out. And I haven't done enough on my crochet blankets to do a crochet blanket check-in, because that's not due till like next week or the week after. I don't want to talk about winter knitting plans because I don't want to talk about winter knitting plans because I don't want to make any plans because I'm feeling so grumpy. And also, if I make plans, then it's like, nailing my flag to the mast, and it'll be just another thing, feel like Cogsworth, the usual things, chocolates and flowers, promises you don't intend to keep. And it does feel very much like promises you don't intend to keep anytime I make plan videos. I mean, there are some people out there who are super organised, right? And they make plans and then they stick to those plans. I'm like, what? That's just not how I roll at all. I still haven't found the book for the pattern for my nephew's jumper for the hoodie, so that still hasn't progressed any further. I have finished one of the socks from my co-worker's leaving present, but I can't show you because I've lost it. I've got the second one cast on, but I can't find the first one to show you. So I'm not even entirely sure, but I did 40 rounds for the leg. I'm worried I might have done 50, and now I've got one leg shorter than the other, but I can't find the original, so I've got nothing to compare it to. So that's gone wrong. So I thought I'd just give a quick check-in and say it's all gone wrong. Do you ever have days or weeks like that where everything just completely goes to pot? I did have a sewing video that I'd started, and it was meant to be a sewing project from start to finish, but I discovered that the sewing pattern I bought at this amazing shop I found in Clevedon in North Somerset on Friday had actually sold me the wrong size for the pattern. The pattern is one pattern number, but there's two different sizes. So half the sizes are in one paper packet and half the sizes are in another. So I got everything out ready to do this pattern to make my son some shorts, and that wasn't there. So honestly, everything that could possibly go wrong has gone wrong. And in addition to all of that, I've had a crazy busy weekend. So I mentioned that I was on the road on Friday. I was travelling for Search Press. I saw some amazing shops that are just brilliant. And I went up to No Frills Knitting Social at the Sundale Kitchen, which I was really excited about. and I recorded no footage. There's no vlog, no footage, no pictures of the shops that I visited or the meal itself, which was lovely. I arrived half an hour before the meal, got out the car, my watch fell off, and as I was bending down to pick it up, I had to leap out of the way because this truck came down the road and did not stop and ran over my watch. And I've had that since I was 16. It was my 16th birthday present from my mum and dad. And the glass is all shattered and the strap is broken into like 3 pieces. And I was a little bit heartbroken. And I was absolutely desperate for the bathroom. No idea where I was. The kitchen was obviously closed because it was opening for us as a private function a bit later. So I wandered off in hope of finding a public toilet. I ended up walking all the way to Bristol Meads station. Bristol Meads or Temple Meads? The station in Bristol. In the blistering heat, which took about 45 minutes round. I considered putting makeup on for the evening, but I realised that whatever I put on would essentially just melt and slide off my face and leave me looking like a sad mime or a clown that's gone wrong. So I didn't bother with that. But by the time I got back to the restaurant, which was amazing, by the way, and the company was fantastic, and the meal was so good, and they've done me my very own plate because I have an intolerance to pepper seasoning, so white, black, pink, whatever colour peppercorn you want to use, just don't bring it near me because I can't digest it and it makes me very poorly. And they've done me my own plate and it was lovely, and there was knitting and there was chat, but my gosh, that 45 minutes in the scorching sun with no head covering, despite being very hydrated, I ended up with a pounding headache. Got very, very confused driving home, took 3 wrong turnings, that sort of thing. And that kind of, it didn't spoil it. I loved the evening, but it's just too hot for this nonsense. So yeah, no footage, watch broken, got a little touch of sunstroke, I think, sun-induced headache. Saturday, I spent doing the weekly shop and writing up my final presentation, because tomorrow I've got my final presentation for my initial teacher training for early years. Now, I may pass it, I may not, who knows. But yes, I've got that presentation. And then I was up this morning making a cake for a leaving do for a colleague, because it's just been so hot that I'm battling the heat and the elements. And I do have some footage of that, but not of the final cake. I basically did a Victoria sponge, and because I was nervous it was going to go wrong, I did 2 full Victoria sponges just in case. I whipped up the buttercream, which is like my least favourite thing to make, because even with a tea towel over the top, you end up looking like a ghost, and I looked like a ghost. And then I piped the buttercream onto the top of the first cake, because I was taught by my manager at a cafe or tea room I worked at to do that. So you actually pipe these circles of buttercream and then you pipe the jam in the circles in between. And A, it stops things slip sliding everywhere, and B, when you cut into your cake you get this lovely pattern of white and red and white and red and white and red throughout the cake, which just looks so professional. So I'd done this beautiful piping, and then I went to pick up the jar of jam and drop the jam in the middle of the cake. So there was a whacking great dent in this cake, and I'd just done the butter icing and I was like, I can't do it again. So I lifted up the cake and squeezed much butter icing underneath it and hoped for the best. Then it was a case of battling the temperature to get the crumb coat on. I did, after some perseverance, manage to get the butter icing on, because that's what I chose to do. And then I finished it with a chocolate drip. And the final thing was finished with a bath sponge, because I didn't have any Oasis, which I shoved cocktail sticks into and yellow rosebuds and red strawberries. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough of either, so I ended up dashing out into my garden and chopping off bits of hebe bush and randomly haphazardly sticking it in there. So it was all done in time for my friend's leaving do. And then my other friend picked me up and I travelled the cake on my lap. And Torquay is very like this. And when we got there, I handed it over to the people who worked at the hotel, lifted the lid up and realised that the centrepiece had gone and just fallen off, and there were strawberries everywhere, and it looked like some sort of massacre in a cake box because there was just strawberry juice all up the sides of the cake box. And I was trying to fix it, which I did manage to do, but not without sticking my finger right in the butter icing. So pretty much everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. I mean, it's all come out right in the end. Not having the video is unfortunate, but it's no one's gonna suffer or get poorly or, you know, lose a limb because I haven't done the video or the video didn't have sound. I can't use it, but the cake looked fine and hopefully is edible. They're now bringing it into work tomorrow because we had an afternoon tea and no one could eat half the stuff that was on the plate because it was so huge. So there's that. And I dropped the, you know, obviously dropped the jam jar in the cake, but the cake survived. And the presentation's done, and what will be tomorrow will be. And here we are. Just, there we are. That's it. That's the video. It's just one of those times where things just go a little bit wonky. It's all right in the end. Like, I had an absolutely lovely time in Bristol on Friday. I got up to the wool cellar. Again, didn't take any footage, but it's absolutely amazing there. I had a brilliant time. Saw the spinning wheel in Clevedon, as I said, and was spinning wheel in Clevedon? I'm getting confused by who's where, but the spinning wheel was really lovely. The wool cellar was fantastic. Popped around the corner to Koala Creations Fabrics, and I was just absolutely agog. It was stunning, and all I can do is tell you it was stunning and not show you any footage of it at all because I am that good a podcaster. And in terms of knitting, actually, I did make a little bit of progress. Look, where's it gone? There you go. This is where I'm going to pull it all off the needles, aren't I? Oh, there goes a stitch marker. I have actually, not that it really looks like much at the minute and you can't really tell, I have actually just separated for the sleeves on the Arrowhead tunic, which I'd started last time I spoke to you. So this is not going to be a languishing project. That I'm absolutely determined about that. This does not want to show itself off to its best advantage, does it? So this isn't behaving particularly well. There we go. Is that better? No. Let's do that and see what happens. There you go. You've got this gorgeous green, forest green colour. And you can see that's the little sleeve cap there. So I'll be working my way down the dress. So I did that. And I have put quite a bit of progress on my crochet blankets. I'll show you the two that I've been working on. So this one is the Halloween inspired blanket, and I've just put in a colour from the For Love of Yarn advent from 2022, I think it was, and the grey. And where's the stitch marker? Let's play Hunt the Stitch Marker again, shall we? I think that's right. I think it was there last time I showed you. There we go. There's the stitch marker. I've done all of that. So I've done a significant amount since I last showed you. And I've been really enjoying that. And there we go. And then my granny stripe as well has progressed. It was here and it's now up here. So there you go. It's been a bit of an unfortunate week as well. We have had another family bereavement. There's me saying everything's okay, everything's not okay. So we had another family bereavement. So we've got that coming up as well. I've got no idea when the funeral's going to be. And partly because of the heat and partly because of worrying about my assignment and partly because of just end of term fatigue, I'm not finding the comfort I usually do in the usual things. So there we are. There's a little bit of life for you. There we go. I hope that this video is okay and you're not all going to suddenly unsubscribe, and I will be back with a proper podcast next week. I should be full of the joys, as it will be the summer holidays. And hopefully Lee and I will catch up and re-record that Advent video. Or we might just give it up as a bad job and just say, you know, it was a nice idea, but it's just not kind of going to work, is it? So there we are. There we are. It's like a comedy of errors. It's all gone wrong, but we're going to keep on keeping on because that's all we can do at the end of the day, isn't it? And I very much hope you will join me again next week. Think of me, wish me luck for tomorrow. Bye.